This is tier.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was a very. It was a very good race. I think I'm going to have to start this commentary now. We're on Twitch. We are live. Good. Yeah, I'll put it in the Discord quickly. Okay. Hello, one and all, and welcome to Tier 5 of PFL and the opening race of this season. We are around the Red Bull Ring for what should be a riveting ride from what will be the start of the race and the checkered flag. I am joined here today by Matt Zuvo, Tier 1's race winner from Friday. Matt, are you looking forward to this race?
Yes, I'm very much.
That is going to be a struggle for him, like you said, right at the start. We have 11 drivers that will be starting this race, and it is going to be a terrific, let's hope a terrific race. If it's anything like Friday night, we are in for an absolute treat. There we go. Right. The drivers seem to be hopefully lining up on the grid, and yes, they are. We have 5 red lights on here at the Red Bull Ring, and we are underway. That's a good start from Scofie there. He may take the fight to the Red Bull into turn 1. Maybe he isn't. He's not quite close enough. It is a verse space that leads through turn 1, but so many drivers running wide there, taking a very opportunistic line. But it is the Red Bull that leads this race. It seems like they've all got through the first couple of corners unscathed, but a verse space is untroubled out in front. We have We the Best getting past Piano Cape down the inside of turn 3. And now you can see a verse space trying to break the toe from Scofie in the Mercedes. But as they head on towards turn 4, it is as you were out in front. We the Best then having a look around the outside of the Mercedes, but that comes to no avail. It's Indy following a Curdray there in 6th place as they go through turn 6 and isn't actually wearing a helmet by what I can see on the game. So I don't think the FIA would particularly approve of that, but we'll move on with this race nonetheless. But the Ferrari seemingly struggling there off the exit of turn 7 and on towards turn 8, but he isn't going to be displaced, it seems. But after the first lap, we still have 11 drivers, which is what you want to see. It is a verse space out in front by just under 4 tenths at the moment. You can say Theo, is he going to make a move into turn 1? No, he isn't. That may put him on the back foot to the McLaren of SND, but he gets a troublesome exit through turn 1. So Grace Warrior in the Mercedes is going to take the fight to him as they go through the turn 2 kink and on towards turn 3. The Mercedes, can he break later than the McLaren? No. The McLaren on the racing line manages to keep ahead, but Theo has found the wall and has lost his front wing. So the first driver that has fallen victim to the Red Bull Ring in this race is the Aston Martin of Theo, who seemingly loses it off the exit of turn 3. And that has done his race a lot of harm. Meanwhile, out in front, it is still a verse space, who is keeping a lead of just over half a second, but Scofie is very much in this race. Oh, you can see a verse space really struggling into the penultimate corner through the Jochen Ring curve. And this may give the Mercedes a very good chance to take this fight. How powerful, Matt, is DRS around the Red Bull Ring? Because a verse space could be at the mercy of an overtake. Yes, you can see a change of lead on lap 3 here at the Red Bull Ring. Scofie takes the lead of the race from the Red Bull. But like Matt alluded to there, the Red Bull did have DRS, but it was not enough to make a repass for the lead. Already on lap 3 of this race, we have a thrilling battle for the lead. Wherever you are watching this race, thank you very much for your company. Let's hope the first 3 laps materialises into an epic season opener here at PFL Tier 5. With the Miami Grand Prix, the inaugural Miami Grand Prix later today, let's hope it is going to be something like this, because we have a battle out in front, which is far from over. Scofie setting the fastest lap of the race. That was very much thanks to the DRS getting past the Red Bull, but he manages to hook it together. The two Red Bulls are quite close to one another, but a Verspace does have that DRS to defend from his teammates, so there may... Oh! Grace Warrior down the inside. Yeah. Oh, we have side-by-side action amongst the front two again. It looks like a Verspace chance. They move around the outside. They make contact. They've both got onto the gravel there, and they have spun themselves out of contention. We have drama out at the front already. Drama from day one in PFL Tier 5, and drama that has hit the front two runners. Scofie is going side-by-side and getting back ahead of Grace Warrior. But turn 4, which has seen plenty of action through the years, Sergio Perez and Lando Norris in 2021, Lewis Hamilton and Alex Albon in 2020, and now Scofie and a Verspace in 2022. Through that corner just did not go, and both of them have paid very, very pricey consequences. What did you think of that, Matt? He must have, surely. He's really struggling through the exits of the corners here, and he's braking so much earlier, so... Well, maybe there's damage to his side as well, I'm not too sure. It is falling apart from Scofie, who started on the front row. He now actually has a Verspace hunting him down, and I'm sure the Red Bull is going to want to get past the Mercedes and revive his race. But out in front, Wiedebest leads this race, but Scofie now wants to take a place back on its Indies. They venture on towards turn 9. The Mercedes just isn't close enough to make a move for the moment. But that has absolutely lit a spark in this race. We have a new leader in Wiedebest after a collision between Scofie and a Verspace. And he leads. The Red Bull leads by 2 seconds out in front, and it's a spin. It's a spin for Scofie. Oh, he's going to hit. He's going to hit the Alpine, and they thunder into one another through the exit of turn 1. The safety car surely is going to be brought out. And we have both Alpines retiring from this race. And there's debris littered across the track. I'm amazed the safety car, or even a virtual safety car, hasn't been brought out yet. The 3S, we do have a safety car. At long last. That's not an accident you want to see. It seems like Scofie just lit up the rear through the exit of turn 1, and maybe the Alpines were rather unsighted and couldn't react in time to the Mercedes, but that is 3 drivers lost in one go in this race. We are down to 8 drivers, and Scofie's race, which started promisingly, turned troublesome. His troublesome race has just turned terminal, and it's terminal damage that sees him out of this race. The front runners now pitting. Matt, does this commit these drivers to at least a 2-stop, possibly a 3-stop pitting on what is now lap 7? Absolutely can. It is going to be very interesting indeed. The drivers will be stacking behind one another once more, with Wiedebest leading out in front. He was ahead by 1.5–2 seconds. That advantage has come down to 0. So Piano Cape in the Ferrari, the prancing horse. Well, he now has that rear wing of the Red Bull very much in sight. But drama early on in this race. We had a terrific battle between Scofie and a Verspace, which just turned sour there. The two drivers coming together through this corner, through the exit of turn 4. Scofie suffered seemingly a lot of damage, and then a couple of laps later through the exit of turn 1, spinning around and hit heads on by both Alpine drivers. So both Alpines and the Merc out of this race. We have 8 drivers left. Hopefully these 8 drivers can give us a fantastic race. What are your observations so far of this race, Matt? Do you think it's anything about being the first race of the season, the drivers want to assert their presence on track and perhaps assert their dominance in the championship?
Oh yeah, definitely. First race. Prove dominant.
Absolutely. Let's hope the safety car does calm down the drivers a little bit. Obviously, just running behind the safety car, running slower. Let's hope that the boiling point that we have reached just cools down, not just by a little, but by a lot, because we did see an extortionate amount of unnecessary accidents. But yeah, we are on lap 8 here at the Red Bull Ring. Wiedewest in the Red Bull has taken advantage of the early carnage out in front, and he leads this race after starting from 3rd on the grid. He heads Piano Cape. Well, we'll see. The safety car may be coming in this lap. We will know very, very soon. Yes, it will. It does come in at the end of this lap. Oh, the Aston Martin getting very close to the rear of Piano Cape there. But Wiedewest now becomes the de facto safety car. He will choose when to put the power down and get this race underway. Weaving from left to right, trying to generate temperature into his tyres. But when does he choose to go? How does the Ferrari react behind? If he wants his chance to take the lead of this race, he is going to have to not let the Red Bull get away. He is going very late indeed, and Piano Cape may just have a chance to seize the lead of this race. They head towards turn 1. The Red Bull does have the inside line, but on the exit, the Ferrari seems to get a very handsome one. He's chasing down the Red Bull. They rage towards turn 2 and turn 3. Theo has retired from this race now to the exit of turn 1. But as they emerge towards the end of the straight, the Ferrari around the outside, does he make a move? No, he can't. The Red Bull on the inside holds that place, but just about. But this battle is going to continue on towards turn 4. The Ferrari has the legs on the Red Bull, does he? He's going to dance and dazzle around the outside. They put down the power and the Ferrari does emerge ahead. Once more, we have a change of lead around the Red Bull ring, and that started all the way at the final corner, but the Red Bull hits Piano Cape, and he goes onto the gravel there. Surely he has damage to his front wing. He certainly has damage to, well, his chances in this race and trying to rejoin the track on the grass. We have yet more drama to one of the front runners. It looks like he's going to be pitting, and he does. Oh, it's been a horror race so far for Red Bull. It's been a horror race for the Sol Mercedes. Oh, well, Race Warriors running in 3rd, but the potential both teams had, it has just been thrown away in the opening few laps. Averse space though. He started from pole. He wants his place back amongst the top places. He looks to the outside of turn 3. We have yet more contact in this race, and it has struck Race Warrior in averse space, and they thunder on into the barriers on the outside of turn 3. And this absolutely manic race hits yet more drama. What on earth are we seeing here? It's not so much the Red Bull Ring track actually biting the drivers, it's the drivers biting each other.
Yeah.
Wow. Who thought? He could. We're going to have a range of strategies, but is he going to become? He looks like he wants to come into the pits, and he does. Then he comes out. He does. Very much so. But he comes into the pits. Now, this is going to be interesting because, like you said, on the hard compound tyres, he could have run long into this race. He now switches to the mediums and does change his front wing as well. Then again, it must be said that they do have limited amounts of medium compound tyres for this race. But that does... it does limit his strategy in a way, but he is still back in this race because he will rejoin the back of the queue. But it will have to come down to him passing the drivers now. He's not going to have to rely on having to go so much longer on a set of tyres. It is going to have to surely be him, unless we have yet more unbelievable drama, which we've seen so far. It will have to be We the Best coming through the field if he wants to conquer the Red Bull Ring. Very much can. We are down to 5 drivers in this race, and if you have just joined us, well, you have missed quite a lot, I think would be quite the understatement. We started with 11 drivers. On lap 12, we are down to 5. Who thought this would arise just even half an hour ago? An absolutely manic race, one littered with controversy, drama, wheel-to-wheel action, which has boiled over into some very, very dramatic crashes, most notably through the first few corners, like here on the exit towards turn 3, and then the entry of turn 3, and then the exit of turn 4. But hopefully, with these 5 drivers, we have a race where they all manage to survive until the end. It is basically it feels like all the all right now. Demolition derby. We've had drivers crashing into one another. We had Scofie and Zaverspace clashing out in front. We had Scofie crashing with the 2 Alpines. We had Grace Warrior crashing with the Zaverspace. The list of crashes has felt like it's been endless, but hopefully it is terminable and that we do not see any more. The safety car will peel off into the pits at the end of this lap, and Piano Cape, who absolutely aced the first safety car restart, now has his chance to stretch away from the chasing game. When does he choose to put down the power? Entering towards turn 9. Now, Verspace did make a very... No, did make a very costly error in going very, very late with the Ferrari sticking with him down the start-finish race. But Piano Cape, I think he has gone and he has got away. The Aston Martin getting wide through the final corner there, but he isn't troubled from the drivers behind him. It looks like Wiedebest may have a chance. He's about a quarter of a second behind the McLaren of SND through turn 1. Does he have his chance? He gets a mammoth exit off of turn 1. Down the straight through the turn 2 kink. He does emerge ahead of the McLaren, but can he seize it into the turn 3 apex? The McLaren on the inside just isn't a match for the Red Bull's minimum speed through the apex of the corner, and Wiedebest progresses onto 4th place. But he isn't done there. Oh, yeah, more contact. Oh, and yeah. Oh, it is way too much there. The Red Bull trying to hang it around the outside. He gets wide onto the gravel. He's going to drop down into 5th place, and then he spins. Oh, he had a half spin there. And again, what was seemingly going to be a promising race for the Red Bull has just been hurt by another moment of misjudgment. They are indeed. It's Indy is being closely followed by the McLaren of SND. What can the McLaren do into turn 3? It doesn't pose a major threat, but on exits, it isn't the most healthy of exits. Plus, without any DRS, it is very much a stretch to get past. Wiedebest does come into the pits. He's now onto the soft compound tyres now. Absolutely. And the fact... And we've only just passed the 3rd distance, so the cars are going to be relatively heavy still, so he's going to be leaning more on the tyres. I'd be very surprised if he makes it through to lap 24. if I'm completely honest, because quite frankly, he's going to have to push like hell to be back in the running. Otherwise, he's relying on a safety car. And with only 5 drivers left, the chances aren't as high. But we've seen with the nature of this race, we've already had 2 safety cars. You can't really rule out a third. He has the inside line. He has third place, but it's Indy forced out wide. He doesn't have DRS. The McLaren is ahead, but he's not even defending into turn 4. So is he trying to let the Ferrari through? Most probably not. And the McLaren giving him a bit of a love tap on the exit, but it's Indy who preserves that third place for the moment. But out in front, Okurdrake is now eating into Piano Cape's gap. It was over a second. It certainly isn't anymore. Well, it is now. I think Okurdrake struggled off of the exit of turn 7 and on towards turn 8. But it is a very tight battle out in front. It's a very tight battle for third place. So even with 5 drivers, we're still getting a very decent race. We're still having side-by-side action. But with DRS at... It's going to have to be the timing. Timing is going to be everything. With the straights being so long at the Red Bull rig, you definitely want a healthy battery. Meanwhile, we the best. Quickest of anyone so far on this race on a 1:6.007. But he's a yawning chasm behind the top 4, and well, it is a point more than what he did have without the fastest lap, but it's certainly not what he would have wanted. A race compounded, tarnished by errors is, well, left him all alone in 5th place, and it's going to take, in the words of Christian Horner, a miracle if something dramatic, i.e. a race win, is to fall before him. The closest battle out on track at the moment is between SND and It's Indy. The battle for third place is intensifying, and the McLaren does have a very sweet exit onto the pit straight. He is going to have a chance on the run towards turn 3. That's if he gets a nice exit off of turn 1, which he does. He's chasing down that Ferrari. What line is the Ferrari going to opt for? He's not going to defend on towards turn 2. The McLaren down the inside isn't late enough on the brakes there. The Ferrari easing around the outside, but he seems to possibly struggle on exit. Maybe not, but the McLaren will have DRS on the run towards turn 4. Yeah. Terrific racing though between the pair, and this is what you want to see. As much as crashes are dramatic, and he still doesn't have a helmet from what I can see. So, yeah, I wouldn't say I approve of it, but you know, we make our own rules here. Right, okay, SND right behind It's Indy still with DRS down the main straight. What threat can he pose into turn 1? One which made It's Indy think about defending into the first corner, and that's compromised his exit. He's going to brave it out round the outside, but he runs wide. That risk has paid no reward around the outside of turn 3, but thankfully the McLaren is still very much in this battle, and it is respectable racing between these two, which is absolutely brilliant to see. Yes.
Good racing.
It was a battle that was seemingly lasting interminably, pass after pass, lap after lap. It was not only a terrific battle, but it was a race of calculation, because I imagine when you're out in front, you do lose a lot of battery, not having the DRS and the slipstream as well. He is. Is he going to make a dive down the inside of turn 1? This is where we saw Prost and Highfeld, not Prost and Highfeld, Alesi and Highfeld crashing in the early 2000s through turn one. Oh, he almost had contact between the McLaren and the Ferrari, but the McLaren, with the speed down the straight, emerges ahead into turn three. The Ferrari looks to hang it round the outside, but it comes to no avail. But he does have DRS. This battle takes another twist. The Ferrari has DRS. He has the position, surely, into turn four. Yes, he does. The McLaren, though, impossibly late on the brakes, and it's frankly an achievement that he made it still onto the tarmac. God, I thought he was going to flop. Oh, and he's left the session. Oh, no. That's a real shame. And it's a shame for us as well, because this was the best battle we have seen so far today. Oh. He has spun it. This race gets no easier for the Red Bull. That's going to damage his tyres. That's going to hurt his race. And it has been a race to forget for We The Best, with the front two. Oh, and he's spun again, and he's lost his front wing. These connection issues have plagued Piano Cape. He was 2 seconds out in front. He has lost connection, and he has relinquished the lead to a Kerdre. Oh, that is such a shame there, because the gap is just going to only extend. And it is the Aston Martin that does lead this race. Hopefully the Ferrari can get back, but, well, that is such a shame. You certainly can. We have just under half the race left, and we've learnt in half a race you can learn so much, but for the longer he's out of this lobby, the more he's going to suffer with the AI, and, well, Kerdre is just strengthening his lead out in front. And after starting P6, he was certainly not the favourite to taste the winner's champagne. He hasn't yet, but he is in a very commanding position out in front. And I don't think Piano Cape's actually back in this session yet, which is a real shame. Indeed. I'm just trying to see. No, the S&D isn't in the race. Oh, this is a real shame, because we had tight action amongst all, well, particularly the top four, but it's not getting any closer between the pack, as the AIs mean that. Oh, Piano Cape has rejoined, which is good, but the gap is nearly 8 seconds. Averse Space, he's out of this race. He's left the session. We may just do, and hopefully he can join as quickly as possible. Let's see. I think the gap is coming down, and he is journeying into the pits, so he may have rejoined, but he's taken it very cautiously into the pit entry. So this may trigger action amongst the field. Kerdre, what does he do in response? He does have a healthy gap out in front, but the longer he stays out, the more that advantage is eaten. So Piano Cape is promoted into second. Is that me? That isn't mediums, is it? Oh, maybe he didn't have any softs left. Maybe he did not have any softs left. But this is going to be a very interesting ending, because Piano Cape is going to have to overtake a flurry of drivers if he wants to take the opening honours of the season. We the best. They are, but the Aston Martin is not responding. He's stayed out on the track, which to be fair is understandable as he is 20 seconds out in front, but he runs that risk of if a safety car comes out. Oh, Piano Cape's left the session. Oh, that is such a shame. Oh, it's Indy. He has found the Armco wall. And he has found yet another barrier in this race, which is going to be very difficult to overcome. And a Kerdre's lead just becomes that more almighty. Exactly. It may just be maximum points for the Aston Martin. And like we said, it didn't seem particularly plausible, but such is the drama in this race. He leads out in front by half a minute. We the best actually is relatively close and is going to get ahead of It's Indy. And It's Indy has now left the session. So We the best is still in this race. Piano Cape, not sure. He may be in this race still, hopefully. I'm not too sure. SND, I don't think is in this race. But it's down to Akadjo, who basically has the Red Bull ring to himself. He's at absolute ease, daring through the corners of this track. All 10 corners he can take, even at a leisurely pace right now, because he has such a dominant advantage. Though, having said that, he does not want to lose concentration. This is a precious lead he has, and the best way to start a season, he does not want to lose that advantage. We have yellow flags through sector, and his horrid, hellish race comes to an end, and the safety car's been called out. Oh my word. That is unfortunate, but although Akadjo will be coming into the pit, that's hopefully, if the drivers can rejoin this race, that's going to stack them up amongst one another. So what may have seemed quite a processional end to this race, as long as the drivers can rejoin, we may have a sprint to the finish that is going to absolutely typify the drama we have learnt from PFL this weekend. Wow, what an ending. What an ending we may have. Hopefully these drivers can get back. I mean, quite frankly, I implore these drivers to get back because we want to see a thrilling ending. We have. This is, well, we don't know what's going to happen from here on in. We have just over 10 laps left and 10 laps to determine the winner of the opening race of the season. After 11 starters, we are only left with 2 Ferraris, a McLaren and an Aston Martin. Wow. I'm very, very excited for this ending. Akadjo is undeniably the favourite, but who knows? Who knows who can take the honours? This has been a race of attrition. This has been a race of drama. This has been a race of dejection, deflation for many drivers. And it seemed like it was going to be a race 2 of domination for Akadjo, but this safety car period may have just thwarted that dominance. This could be very interesting as well because It's Indy and SND are both out on the soft compound tyres. So we have a disparity in strategy which may pay dividends come the checkered flag. Oh, it is. It is all to play for. It is all to play for with 10 laps left of this Austrian Grand Prix. It has been a race tarnished by controversy, unfortunately, but we have had drama. It has definitely been a source of fantastic entertainment. And whoever's watching this stream, I hope you have enjoyed it. Twists and turns have occurred many times in this race. Are we poised for yet more? So then, we have a four-way sprint to the finish. Unfortunately, Piano Cape isn't in this race, nor is SND. Oh no. Is it Cindy in this race? I don't think he is. And we are definitely so late in the race. Oh my word! Can you believe it? A Kerdre who was poised for a sweet ride to the finish has just thrown it away at the safety car restart. Unbelievable! The Red Bull Ring has just thrown us a race, a season opener for the ages. Because the top three are not even in the session. We have a Kerdre that crashed out of the lead. Best threw the race away after loads of errors. Grace Warrior and Averse Space may have had a chance in this race. They crashed out and retired early on. Scofie could have won this race. He crashed out too early on. And the top three drivers who aren't even in the session may just have a clean race to the finish. But it depends. If they rejoin the session and a Kerdre comes into the pits and is so much quicker, we may have one of the most bizarre, brilliant, breathtaking finishes that we may have ever seen online. It's going to be it is going to be an almighty task, even though we still have AI here. It is going to be an almighty task for a Kerdre to get back into the lead. It is such a testing moment for Kerdre, who seemed like he was going to ease to the finish. To be fair, it's not a 40-second gap, which may have been impossible to overturn, but he doesn't have that many laps left. He's bolted on the soft compound tyres. He's going to have to sprint like he's never sprinted before for the checkered flag. This is going to be a fascinating ending. Oh my. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okie dokie. Right then, we don't know the outcome to this race. It may be void. It may be the final result. We have seen drama from lap 1 to lap 30. A Kerdre, if this race result is to stand, he has not many laps to close back onto the leading pack. The AI lead this race. SND, who isn't even in control of his car, is going to overtake Piano Cape surely to take the lead of the race. He has the outside line. The AI of Piano Cape defends the inside and maintains the race lead. But as they race as well, Kerdre is going to be closing in. So whether this race result stands or not, wow. Just wow. have a race. Do not go anywhere. The race results may be decided on track. It may be decided in a race in later today. It's absolutely bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. A Curdray is now right behind its Indy, but with only 6 laps to go, does he have enough to close in on the leading pack? A mad, manic, but at the same time, absolutely marvellous race is nearing its conclusion. A race littered with controversy, a race littered with crashes, and a race which, well, for goodness sake, there are even dark skies overhead. Could there even... We have a race conclusion pointing towards many different aspects. The drivers, whether they want to restart the race, a Curdray if he can close onto the leading pack, the heavens above. The hills are alive with drama here on this Sunday, and PFL is absorbed, it's engulfed in this drama, and it's drama that seemingly has no ending. Piano Cape and SND are going side by side. The McLaren leads this race. Do you know, Matt, when the cut-off point is for when this is the final race result? Wow. Just wow. We've had some tremendous races this weekend. PFL has started with an absolute bang this week. And as we journey throughout this season, we have still many more dramatic moments to be unearthed. Now, we have, for these two, we have 4 laps left. A Curdray has less than a 10-second deficit to the second place car. You run out of superlatives for this race. It's been one marred by unfortunate, rather distasteful incidents. It's been one just absolutely bonkers race.
Yes, happy.
The gap is coming down all the time between a Curdray, SND and Piano Cape. He's raging through the corners of the Red Bull Ring. SND and Piano Cape lead out in front. Is it going to be the McLaren that takes the opening honours of the season? Is it going to be the prancing horse who gallops towards victory? Is it going to be a Curdray who wants his lead back? The gap is less than 6 seconds. The gap is getting tighter and tighter, closer and closer, metre by metre. And it may be the Aston Martin who takes the spoils, but he needs to keep his composure. It was him that possibly threw away a dominant ease towards the checkered flag, but it still could be him who soaks in celebratory sensation on the top step of the podium. But we have 3 laps left. A Curdray is in the same picture as SND and Piano Cape, as we still look to determine whether this race will be the final definitive race result. We are getting rain. Oh my word! The rain now spills onto the Red Bull Ring, and it's going to be a task to keep it on the island. A Curdray with 2 laps left, can see that win. It is so tangible. He can literally touch it, but he has to keep it on the island. He needs to be measured. He needs to be calculated, but he needs to be lethal enough to prize the lead off of these two drivers ahead, and he almost careered into the rear of the Ferrari. He almost then hit the rear of the McLaren too. He's up into second place. The McLaren is literally in front of him. We are on the penultimate lap of a mad race at the Red Bull Ring. The McLaren, with his AI braking so early, the Aston Martin needs to be careful. But as he lays down the throttle, as they venture on towards turn 6, he has the inside line, but he does not have the lead. The Aston Martin does have a very nice exit off of turn 7 and 8. Towards the Jochen curve, he doesn't think about the move enough to actually make one. But we are heading on to the final lap of one of the most bizarre races you will ever see from any league race, anywhere you go. The Aston Martin does take the lead as he heads on towards turn 1, but it is now a matter of keeping it on the islands. As the drivers determine whether this will be the race, a Kerdre leads out in front. The rain has spilled onto the circuit, but the Aston Martin has resisted that challenge and has overcome it. My apologies. He spun at the safety car restart. It looked like he threw the lead and most possibly the race win away. But he has come back battling, and it looks like it is going to be him and him alone that is going to celebrate. In the opening race of PFL Tier 5, we have witnessed one of the most mad and marvellous races you will ever see. But the checkered flag is for your eyes only, a Kerdre, and he takes the checkered flag. And as long as this is the race result, it is him who takes the opening honours of PFL Tier 5. Oh my, oh. It is very interesting. A very interesting, a very inane race, but one that has seen the Aston Martin climb to the top step of the podium. He holds his winner's trophy aloft, and it is him, a Kerdre, that takes the opening honours. The Red Bull Ring has seen many horns lock, and many balls lock into battle, but it has seen a Kerdre who has risen to the top. Although it was against AI, he had to come back from a very mighty deficit, a deficit of half a minute. But wow. Just stare at the sensation that was this race. Although it was one full of controversy, it was one that was dramatic, from the green flag to the checkered flag. We will look back at this race most possibly at the end of the season and went, what on earth was this event? We had 11 drivers, only one really saw the checkered flag, and only one reigned supreme. There was still some great racing. I think the drivers losing connection actually was more dramatic because we did have some very good racing amongst the pack. Even with only 4 drivers left, it was a very good race. But it seems like the race we have just witnessed is the final race result. It is the green machine, the Aston Martin, who seems like he has won this race, but if anything changes, we will update you. Breaking news. This race result does stand. One of the most mad, nuts, utterly nuts races you will ever see has found its conclusion, and these results will stand. Matt, it was a race of attrition, and it was a race of attrition with capital letters from the letter A to the letter N.
Yeah.
Yes, the circuit's Paul Ricard will be back, and the drivers will be tackling it next Sunday. Hopefully, the racecraft is, let's say, polished, to be nice. And let's hope we do see more drivers finishing the race than we did today. So then, Akerdre is your race winner after the first race of PFL, which was both barbaric and just brilliant at the same time. I've never known a race so glued to one another in its just utter madness. We did have some great racing. We did have some shocking racing too. And we had crashes here, there, and everywhere.
Everything.
Indeed. So then, we will see you back here next Sunday for what will be hopefully a transfigured field of drivers and racers. And we'll hopefully have a race that was equally as dramatic. I do not know why I said Drake there. I'm not even a fan of him. But what honestly comes out of my mouth. But that is it. That is it. Thank you very much for your company. And if you are rewatching this race and thinking, what on earth was that? Don't worry, you are not the only one. Me and Matt are simply comprehending and struggling to comprehend what on earth was the last 45 minutes or hour of this event. PFL Tier 5 is underway, and it is underway in the most dramatic and unusual circumstances you may ever see. Thank you very much for your company, and until next time, goodbye.